There's been a running theme on articles recently on people who are like, man, how can you defend Trump? How isn't it getting hard? It's more difficult for Republicans to defend Trump. And I mean, it is. Trump's not my favorite president in the world. And he says some dumb stuff that's really hard to defend because you can't. He puts his foot in his mouth constantly, and he has no censor when it comes to like just I don't know, I said it in another video. Like an aide will say something to him like, "Oh, so and so said this really bad thing," and then Trump will be in the middle of a campaign speech about immigration or something. You just got to slip it in. Oh, somebody told me Nancy Pelosi eats her boogers or something like that. He's got to say it, and it makes it hard to defend him because you can't, because he's a loudmouth. You can't stop saying that kind of stuff, you know. And you gotta take the good with the bad if you're a Trump fan or you want to support him. You gotta accept that that's gonna happen. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about why the Democrats are forcing people to defend Trump. It's things like this. When you push Trump supporters or Republicans in general into a box and then give them no other option, this is where it goes. Trump supporters and Republicans in general, and even people who are, I guess you call centralists or moderates or however you want to say it, people who can kind of go either way. You push them into a hole when you give them only a couple big options. When your only options are voting for Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren, what are you going to do? So if you don't like either of those two, and you know the rest aren't getting in, you have to defend Trump or you have to not vote. Those are your options. If you don't vote, that's bad for Democrats. And if you do vote and they force you into voting Trump, that's bad for Democrats. So I don't understand what their plan is here. But let me get to my point. This video is going to be about the second congressional Democrat staffer charged in a scheme to dox Republicans amid Kavanaugh confirmation fight. This is the second one, which implies there was a first one, if you remember. And stuff like this keeps coming out. And the Democrats wonder. They put out articles and articles day after day on why don't they believe us? Why won't they go along with this impeachment whole thing? Huh. Well, it seems like more and more things like this keep coming out. The whole Hillary Clinton email thing, whether you think that was right or wrong, or she should have gone to jail or shouldn't have gotten in trouble with that, she lied. It was all true. People like Colin Powell knew it was true. And then they lie to you, say it's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Then you get this, another person, they're clearly trying to get Republican information of a candidate just to badmouth them and get his personal information out there. When stuff like this happens and it's directed, they're directed to do it. It undermines you and what you're trying to say. It makes you look bad, and then you wonder why people don't want to support you. Let me read this. A second aide to New Hampshire Democrat Senator Maggie Hassan is facing federal charges stemming from a scheme to publicly post the personal information of several Republican politicians amid the contentious confirmation hearings for now Justice Brett Kavanaugh. The aide, Samantha DeForest Davis, was the staff assistant in Hassan's office from August 2017 until last December. She was fired after Capitol Police discovered her possible involvement in a so-called doxing effort. Court documents accuse Davis of aiding 27-year-old Jackson A. Costco, a former Hassan aide who has pleaded guilty to 5 federal offenses, including 2 counts of making public restricted personal information, 1 count each of computer fraud, witness tampering, and obstruction of justice. Prosecutors alleged Wednesday that Davis was persuaded by Costco to wipe down Senate computers he hacked. Davis now faces 2 misdemeanor charges, 1 federal count of aiding and abetting computer fraud, and a district count of attempted evidence tampering, the Washington Post has reported. On Wednesday, Costco was sentenced to 4 years of prison in the scheme, and was required to turn over cell phones, computers, and other equipment he used. Costco's attorney, Brian W. Stolars, responded, "No one should be judged by their worst act, but how they emerge from it. Mr. Costco is sincerely remorseful for his conduct, and he is in recovery and looks forward to living a purposeful life after he serves his sentence." Wow, he's a upstanding little boy. Look at him, outstanding. Among the officials Costco targeted were 5 Republican senators, including Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell of Kentucky. Costco posted the home addresses and phone numbers of GOP Senators Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, Mike Lee of Utah, and Rand Paul of Kentucky, as well as then Senator Orrin Hatch of Utah on Wikipedia. Now, I want to stop here and talk about this because it's one thing to go to their computers and get the information about these people and try and get a disinformation campaign or something, or try and catch them in a lie so you can find out stuff for like a debate or to slander them online. It's another to put out their address when just the year before, I believe it was, there was the congressional Republican whip was shot at a baseball game. What do you think's going to happen when you put out their address? I wonder, and they wonder why they don't trust Democrats, and they wonder why they think they're inciting political violence. I wonder why. Davis is reportedly expected to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor charges, including evidence tampering and aiding and abetting computer fraud. Costco prosecutors said became angry about the senator's support of Kavanaugh despite sexual allegations leveled against them. Costco intended to intimidate senators and their families, according to court records. At the time of his arrest, Costco was working as unpaid intern for Representative Sheila Jackson Lee, Democrat in Texas, who fired him soon after. Which is funny because it seems a lot like she's just saving face, because Sheila Jackson Lee is, I don't know how to say it better than she's a terrible person, and this is not something you shouldn't expect from her, because all she ever does is crap on Republicans and Trump in general, and if it was up to her, she'd put them all in jail just for being against her, because she's a terrible person. And there's not many people who are a representative of this country that I'd say that about, but there's about 10 of them that are really bad people, and she's one of them. And I don't understand how they keep voting for her in Texas. I'll never understand it. You do you, Texas, whatever. He was previously employed as a computer systems administrator in Hassan's office, a job that gave him intimate knowledge of and board access to computer systems in Hassan's office, according to court records. But he had been fired from Hassan's office in 2018 for failing to follow office procedures. After the firing from Hassan's office, Costco became angry and repeatedly burglarized the office without being detected, court records said. He copied gigabytes worth of data, including dozens of username, passwords, belonging to Senate employees, and contact information for numerous U.S. senators, according to court records. Costco was arrested October 3rd, 2018, one day after a staffer discovered him working on a computer in Hassan's office, where Costco was not authorized to be. Records show Costco sent a threatening email to a staffer that evening, or to the staffer that evening, saying, "I own everything," Costco wrote, adding, "If you tell anyone, I will leak it all." We're almost done. I just want to mention one thing. This is the difference between Democrats and, I don't want to call myself a Republican because I'm not, between everybody else. Because the difference between me and someone like Sheila Jackson Lee is, even though I hate her in terms of all of her positions basically and what she runs on and what she stands for, I would never do any of this. And she may deny it till the cows come home and say that it was all on his own accord. But you know she pushed him to do this. And you know, as somebody who's working for the Democrats, He was more than happy to do this, and they can work as bullies, and they can work as thugs, and that's all they'll ever be. I'm not saying all the Democrats are like this, but I'm never gonna go. Even if I had access to every personal information of all of these people, I hate Sheila Jackson Lee in general, but I'm never gonna go to her house. I'm never gonna post her private information online. That's just not who I am. I'm a civilized person. I'm not. And I guess these people just, when you've got people like Hillary Clinton saying you can't be civil in front of huge crowds, and then they wonder how stuff like this happens, and then they wonder what'll happen whenever they give out their address. No, they know what's going to happen. They know. They're perfectly willing to let it all happen, and then they can be like Ms. Jackson, who fires him after and just can say, I fired him. I had no knowledge of any of this. He got angry. He's just a kid by himself doing his own thing. Get out of here. Costco previously held positions with other prominent Democrats, including former Senator Barbara Boxer of California and office of Senator Dianne Feinstein of also California, and the ranking member of Senate Judiciary Committee. Left-wing activists separately targeted numerous other top Republicans amid the Kavanaugh fight. I wonder why. It's not like this could be connected. In the wake of his vote to confirm Kavanaugh, for example, Republican Senator Cory Gardner, Republican of Colorado, revealed to Fox News last October that his wife had received graphic text messages with video depicting a beheading, and that somebody had publicly posted the names and addresses of his family members. How much farther can you be? You can target the people all you want, I guess, but when you go targeting family members, that's even worse. If this guy or whoever was involved with giving out family members' addresses, you should be in jail much longer than 4 years. At his campaign launch Tuesday night, President Trump emphasized his success in appointing federal judges and lamented Democrats' treatment of Kavanaugh, telling the crowd they didn't just try to win, they tried to destroy him with false and malicious accusations in the name of political domination and control, or dominance. Trump called Kavanaugh a great gentleman who is highly respected throughout the judiciary, and Democrats also targeting his family. Kavanaugh, speaking to Fox News last year, said his wife has received numerous death threats. Just imagine what this angry left-wing mob would do if they were in charge of this country, Trump said. And I'm going to end on that because